David Hekili Kenui Bell was just 17 when the world changed, born and raised on the big island of Hawaii. He didn't come from money or privilege. His family farmed taro and fished to survive. His hands knew the ocean's weight and the soil's silence, but in those hands was something more courage in late 1941. David worked part-time at Pearl Harbor. He wasn't a soldier, he was a civilian welder's apprentice. He kept his head down, he listened, he learned, he fixed what others broke, but deep down he felt it. Something was coming. Something big. December 7th, 1941. The day began like any other warm breeze, blue skies, the scent of sea and iron. David was on duty early preparing tools, whistling quietly to himself. Then the sky screamed planes, bombs, fire. Pearl Harbor was under attack. David could have run. He wasn't military, he wasn't trained for war, but something inside him snapped into place while others dove for cover. David ran toward the fire. He saw the USS Arizona engulfed in smoke. Men screamed for help. The decks were chaos. David didn't hesitate. He grabbed a rope, tied tools to his belt, and climbed aboard. He worked side by side with sailors cutting through twisted steel, pulling trapped men out of flooded compartments. His hands bled, his shirt caught fire still. He moved, still. He saved at one point. A second wave of bombs hit an explosion, threw David across the deck. He hit his head hard for a moment. The world went black, but through the haze he heard something, a faint banging. Someone was still alive, trapped. He crawled dizzy, half-blind, toward the sound, using a torch with shaking hands. David burned through metal. Inch by inch, he pulled a young sailor barely breathing from the wreckage that sailor lived. Had a family told his grandkids about the Hawaiian boy who saved my life. But David didn't stay for the thanks when the fire crews arrived. He quietly slipped away, no uniform, no medals, just blood on his sleeves and burns on his arms in the days that followed. America geared up for war. David enlisted, but was rejected. Too young, they said, stay home, let the soldiers handle it. He didn't argue. He went back to welding, back to fixing, back to silence for years. No one knew what he had done. Decades passed. David married had. Kids worked until his hands gave out. He never bragged, never told the story, not even to his own family. It wasn't until his daughter found an old soot-stained Navy ID in a drawer that the truth began to surface. She asked. He finally spoke quietly, humbly. When veterans heard what he'd done, they wept. The sailor he saved, still alive, still remembered that day, still remembered David. A movement began late, but powerful veterans and locals campaigned to get David recognized not for medals, but for honor, in 2018. Long after his death, David Hekili Kenui Bell was posthumously awarded the Congressional Medal of Civilian Valor, a boy with no gun, no rank, no orders, just heart, and that heart saved lives. We remember the names written in stone. But what about the ones written in fire and forgotten? David's story reminds us that heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes they wear calloused hands and quiet eyes. If this story moved, you share it. Honor the forgotten and subscribe for more real stories that history almost left behind. Because sometimes the bravest souls are the ones no one sees.